I wanted him to go back. I did not expect this at all. I'm like, what happened? Like, I wanted to see this, but I got this.
Did you try to catfish her, Mr. Wilson?
No, lie, all the way around. I'm sexy, why I need to catfish somebody?
As far as frustration goes, Mr. Portis had taken enough from his ex-girlfriend. He was in court with his mother to free himself from the accusations that he was the father of his ex-girlfriend's child. He claimed she ruined his life and is not trying to pin the baby on him even though he's been paying child support.
Mr. Portis, you and your mother have petitioned the court for a DNA test because you are certain you are not the father of the defendant's daughter, Ava.
Correct.
You say your life has been ruined and need today's paternity results to set the record straight. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor. About 2 years ago, I started paying child support, $75 for this baby, and I never knew if she was mine or not. We never took a DNA test.
Isn't he one angry guy? Paying child support for a child you believe is not yours can drive you crazy. Even he couldn't deny that it was kind of his fault. If he had shown up in court, he might have been able to save himself from all the trouble. Anyway, here's where the plot twist to their story thickest.
Last year, Ms. Middlebrooks didn't show up.
No.
Right, because I prefer to do this outside. Why do we have to come here for him to finally do a
I went to get
test?
swabbed. I did the whole thing that I was supposed to do, but she didn't do it.
Why couldn't we do it outside of here?
So tell me about the nature of your relationship with Mr. Portis. Were you boyfriend and girlfriend?
We started talking first and then eventually started dating. It happened fast.
As if that wasn't enough to bring down the roof of the courtroom, Ms. Middlebrooks had another boyfriend while she was messing with Mr. Portis. And when he found out, he wasn't going to stick around to find out if he was the father of the child.
Ms. Middlebrooks, what was your relationship with this other guy?
We were dating.
When?
Before Brian Portis.
So you dated him before you dated Mr. Portis?
Yes.
But when you met
And
Mr.
then he went away and we broke up.
He went away, you all broke up, then you started dating Mr. Portis?
Yes.
How soon after you and Mr. Portis started dating did you find out you were pregnant?
A month or two later.
Basically, Ms. Middlebrooks was bouncing from man to man, and when she found out she was pregnant, she decided to tell the other guy about the pregnancy through a letter. Mr. Portis, on the other hand, didn't believe her when she reached out to him and said she was pregnant.
Yeah. So why was your first instinct to send a letter to the guy that was away?
When I found out I was pregnant, I called him. He was distant after I found out.
When was there a relationship?
Mr. Portis, tell me how you found out Ms. Middlebrooks was pregnant.
She had told me.
What was your response?
I didn't really believe her at first, honestly.
Why do you think she'd lied?
I don't know.
Unfold your arms.
I don't know, Your Honor.
I mean, if he didn't believe her about the pregnancy, there was no way he was going to show up for the doctor's appointments and the child's birth. Now this is where things start to sound mysterious. Mr. Portis wasn't present at the birth, but her ex, whom she told she was pregnant through a letter, was present all the way.
Who was with you at the birth?
My ex was. He stepped up.
Oh, wait.
But she wasn't messing with the ex, though.
Yes. When I had her, yes, he was there.
Okay. And what did he say? Now I'm starting to understand what's happening here. What happened?
He was basically saying like, yo, Brian, Jasmine, does she have you on child support and stuff like that? And I'm like, yeah, she does. She's been having me on child support.
Could the situation be any worse in the courtroom? All this while baby mama had been getting child support from Mr. Portis and her ex-boyfriend. At this point, they need to lock her ass in jail. But that was just the beginning of the revelations. There were more secrets, and they popped out like this.
At the time, the only person I knew was the ex.
No, I didn't ask that. That's not what I asked. Who did she say the father was?
She said the ex.
Okay, hold on. Don't do the
100%
but yet. All I'm saying is, this is what we need to know so we understand why this paternity question even exists. So when you asked her who the child's father is, she told you the ex.
All of us.
Looks like Ms. Middlebrooks has been the deceiver all this while. She allowed her ex-boyfriend to play the daddy figure role in her child's life and never allowed Mr. Portis to visit the child. At this point, you can't blame Mr. Portis for choosing to stay away. Her lies and deception have gone to another level.
So did you let your ex raise the baby? Ava's too. Is he he was at the hospital? You let him raise her?
Yes.
You're just thinking the ex is the child's father? Do you have any contact? Are you calling to check in? What is your relationship at that point? You just completely moved on?
They weren't talking.
We weren't talking. She told me to stop talking to her, don't talk to them,
And you knew
stay
nothing
away.
until you got that summons, which is a year after Ava was born.
Correct.
Oh, well, baby daddy's mom sure doesn't like Ms. Middlebrooks. The sad thing about this case was even if baby daddy ended up not being the father of the child, there was a high chance he would continue to pay child support. And that just wasn't on his agenda.
So we hear now, with all of this drama, there's still a very real possibility you're Ava's father.
Yes.
And if you're not, you may not be able to get yourself off child support because you may have waited too long. That is the court's decision. And the court will follow what is in the best interest of the child.
It was evident that both parties were at daggers drawn and no one was ready to drop their allegations. Secrets were being revealed in court one after another, but nothing was helping them reveal the truth that was needed. So Judge Lake pulled the strings and decided to announce the results.
Mr. Portis, you are the father. You are Ava father.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That is your beautiful little girl.
Appreciate it.
What do you feel, Miss Middlebrook? Can you tell me?
Now she knows.
And that's a relief for you.
That's a relief.
If you're looking for a furious mother, Ms. Jarquin is here to play the role. She was mad at the defendant for getting her pregnant, refusing to sign the birth certificate, and doing almost 0 to nothing in trying to take care of her child. Even after all that, Mr. Burns still believed she was trying to pin the baby on him.
Ms. Jarquin, you opened your case because you want to prove to your ex-boyfriend, Mr. Burns, that he fathered your 4-month-old son, Myvan. You say Mr. Burns abandoned you while you were pregnant, refused to sign the birth certificate, and has left you to struggle financially. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct. I have attempted, after my son was born, to reach out to him to just buy simple things.
After that accusation, Mr. Burns decided to play the doubt game, claiming that the only reason he didn't do anything for the child was that he believed the child wasn't his. He even told the child that he allowed the visit from time to time just to show that he cared about the child. But Jude Lauren wasn't buying any of it.
And why are you inviting him over if he's not your child to chill and watch movies?
I mean, she often, you know.
4-month-old baby don't want to watch a movie. 4-month-old baby.
It's not because it's not so much of him.
You need to stop lying, bro. You know you haven't been there for my sister at all.
I've
been working 24/7 doing your job.
You know, it don't matter.
You doing it. You know that's your son.
It don't matter.
You just lying because you don't want to step up and be a man to it.
It don't matter about the money.
Okay, you heard baby mama's brother. She had been the one taking care of the baby all this while, and Mr. Burns never offered to help even though she knew she was pregnant. What even pissed him off the most was the fact that Mr. Burns had 2 kids with another woman, and he was doing everything for them.
I've taken her to the hospital. I will help her pay the rent. I will help her pay the bills. I will get food for the house, and I will still take care of my son, okay? And the fact she didn't even have a car at the time. She did not have a car at the time, and I found the money, and I got her a car, and because of that, yes, I lost my truck, but it was a good sacrifice because at least she has something for my nephew. So I don't mind taking a taxi every day, as long as I know she's doing okay.
Seems like baby daddy used to love spending a lot of time with the child, but for some reason, he's starting to change his story. Could it be because of his new girlfriend? Who knows? Baby daddy then proceeds to show the judge an exhibit to back up his claim. Here's what he showed the courtroom.
That she's pregnant 3 weeks later, you know? So my first thought.
So that makes sense. 3 weeks later?
Okay, so my first thought was, dang, that was quick. You know, she must have already been pregnant. You know, that was my first thought.
But I mean, if you have sex on July 6th, by July 27th, if the egg has been fertilized, then she could know.
September came, and she went to the doctor on the 14th.
That definitely changes the dynamic of things, and from the looks of it, Ms. Jacquin was intimate with another man. Judge Lauren then decides to ask her if she was sleeping with any other man during the window of conception, and as you would expect, she denied it. But I'm not gonna lie, the whole thing is starting to look very crazy.
Were you intimate with that other man sometime in June?
No, Your Honor, I was not.
But if you're looking at the calculation,
Your Honor, may I clarify something
I came to her
here?
house and I found, you know, condom wrappers and under her bed, and like she'd be on the phone with, you know, other dudes and tell me, you know, saying just be quiet, just be quiet.
Enough with the arguments already. For Mr. Burns, the exhibit wasn't the only piece of evidence he had up his sleeve. He claimed he knew for a fact that she had other sex partners she was intimate with. And how did he know? He spoke with them.
My other doubt is I knew she was having other partners, sex partners, you know.
How do you know this?
It was 2 other guys who at the job who I know, you know, personally. I actually spoke with them too. That they slept
That's
with
what
her.
I want to know is who?
They slept with her.
Who?
They told you this?
Yes.
Baby mama, however, had her own evidence to present in the courtroom. And trust me, baby daddy was right where she wanted him to be. She had pictures of her child and Mr. Burns bonding like they were meant for each other. And even the judge couldn't deny the affection between them. Here's the evidence.
I was taking pictures so I can confirm.
Why? That's not your son.
I was taking pictures so I could see. So I I can see if he looks like me for myself because everybody else says that okay he looks like me, but to me he doesn't.
But Mr. Burns, if you just look at that shot, you look like a father looking lovingly at his son.
I love kids. I love kids.
Finally, the mother of baby daddy's other kids takes the stand, and she drops a bombshell on everyone in the court. Apparently, she had a conversation with baby mama a few weeks before the court case, and baby mama told her that she wasn't certain who the father of her child was. Could she really be trying to pin the baby on him?
Apparently, she has doubts as well, because when we talked about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we met in person, and she said, if it is his, I just want to take full custody. I want to put him on child support. I don't want him to have anything to do with the baby.
She said if
she said if, and then when you say if, that means you are unsure, correct?
And on and on and on. The revelations kept dropping like Christmas presents. If these guys are given 5 more years to try to squash their issues, I'm pretty sure they won't make any progress. Anyway, the DNA results are in, and it's time to close this mystery of who the child's father is.
Mr. Burns, you are the father.
I know now, and I'm gonna treat him and I'm gonna love him, I'm gonna be there for him.
The blessing in all of this is that you just got down to the bottom of it early enough.
This case was nothing short of heartbreaking for Mr. Robinson. After a 12-year relationship with the defendant, she broke the news to him that he might not be the biological father of his 3-year-old son. Trust me, a lot was hanging on the line for Mr. Robinson.
Mr. Robinson, after a 12-year relationship with the defendant, she confessed that your 3-year-old son, Brandon Jr., may not be your biological child. Now you say your engagement to Miss Fuller is broken off and your heart is in ruins because of the possibility you may now lose your son too.
Yes, Your Honor.
We jump straight into the action, and right now, it's story time. Mr. Robinson, being the victim in this situation, was asked how he found out that the son he believed to be his all this while was no longer his. This was how he told the judge.
And after the party is over, I drop him off at his grandmother's where I thought Miss Fuller would be, okay? When she didn't come down, that was fine, it was okay. No answer. I'm like, man, what's going on?
He was mad at me and he was upset. He was wondering where we had been.
Where were you that whole week?
I had left to go be with the guy that I thought could be his father.
Ouch! That's definitely going to leave a mark on baby daddy's heart. That wasn't even the worst part about the situation. When she noticed that the child was starting to look like the guy she had been cheating with, she didn't say a single word to Mr. Robinson.
When Brandon Jr. started looking like the other guy, what did you say to Brandon Sr.?
I didn't really say anything. Like, we were struggling at the time, so we had to move, and I didn't want to go back to my mother's, and I just thought, at the time, I thought it was a better move for me, and it wasn't.
Could the truth bombs go any easier on baby daddy? He looks like he's about to cry his eyes out. He had built an inseparable bond with the child. It was almost impossible for the child to accept another man as his father, even at a very young age. He even signed the birth certificate. Could you imagine that?
So that's my son, that's all. If he ran in here right now, Daddy, 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 he just gets so excited every time he sees me. I have pictures, if you would like to see, with us bonding.
This is his birth certificate here. You put your name on here?
Yes, I signed it. That boy changed my life. Brandon changed my life.
Things get really tricky from here on, trust me. Now, one casual evening, baby dad is going through baby mamas, and he sees a text that sends him into a full denial mood. Apparently, baby mama had already told the guy she was sleeping with that the baby looked nothing like Mr. Robinson on, and that she needed his help.
Mines, you know what I'm saying? So instantly I get kind of nosy, you know what I mean? And I start going in inbox, reading inbox. So I'm reading these inboxes, but she sent the one message to the guy, and I guess that's when she went to go live with the guy, saying that he didn't look anything like me and that she needed his help.
Trust me, you don't just see something like that and remain calm. I would be furious to the bone. Well, that boat sailed, and the next boat carried an even heavier bombshell. Apparently, the affair with the guy was not a one-time thing. She had been sleeping with him for over 8 years.
I met the guy a long time ago, like years ago, and we started seeing each other, and I don't know, I just still kept talking to him or whatever, but it was off and on for about 8 years or whatever. Around the time
it went on for how long?
It was like 8 years off and on, but it wasn't like
8 years off and on?
Yes.
Baby mama sure knows how to keep secrets. Some of the revelations happening in the courtroom were like a news flash for the baby daddy. He was just hearing them for the very first time.
I can tell by the look on your face you did not know this.
Oh no, not at all, Your Honor.
So what was your understanding of the relationship with the other guy? Because there's a lot of blue going on up there.
No understanding, Your Honor. I didn't think it was another guy. No way.
So this is your first time figuring that out right now?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
I'm sitting with Judge Lauren on this one. How do you keep an 8-year affair a secret from your fiance? For baby daddy, there was no going back or making amends. If the child turned out to be for the other man, it was goodbye without looking back.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to still be in a relationship with Miss Fuller if, in fact, it's determined that he is not?
Your Honor, a relationship as far as what? Like our friendship that we have? Or
No, I mean a relationship.
together? No. She broke up with me, okay? We were supposed to get married in July, okay? So when Miss Fuller told me, that she didn't want to be with me anymore or whatever, I said, fine.
Ugh! This woman got some nerve! Instead of being ashamed of her wrongdoings and lies, she was defending herself. Anyway, Judge Lake heard enough of their testimony, so she determined that DNA was vehement in this paternity conflict. So let's get those results and see if they ended up on good terms or not.
Mr. Brandon Robinson Sr., you are his father. Well, I don't even have to ask you how you feel.
Oh, man. This, like my son say, he come to me, Daddy, he be like, Daddy, this the best day ever. You know how he always say, best day ever. So this ranks right up there.
Ms. McIntyre and her mother were absolutely certain that Mr. Wilson was her baby's biological father. She claimed the only reason he wasn't accepting the baby was because he wanted to live a single life, but Mr. Wilson had more than enough proof to make him certain he couldn't be the father.
Ms. McIntyre, you and your mother stand before me claiming that you are 100% certain that Mr. Wilson is your 3-year-old son, Jashawn's biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. We was talking on Facebook. He shared a couple of pictures with me. He shared a picture like this. I thought he was very cute. He said he was gonna take care of me and my daughter.
On Facebook, he was already gonna take care of you and your daughter?
Yeah.
In no time, their conversation got pretty intense, and Mr. Wilson was already telling her he would give her the world. Well, that never really happens now, does it? After having their cute conversations on Facebook, it was finally time for them to meet in person. When they finally did, Ms. McIntyre couldn't believe what she saw.
He catfished me. I didn't know, I didn't expect this. No. I did not expect this getting off the bus. No. I wanted him to go back. I did not expect this at all. No, I did not.
Bring up that other picture.
From this picture to this picture, no, I did not. No. I'm like, what happened? Like, I wanted to see this, but I got this.
Mr. Wilson was being completely honest in the courtroom. Well, at least so he claimed. He said he wasn't in the courtroom to deny the child and say he wasn't the father, but he just had doubts, and Mr. Wilson needed to be sure he wasn't taking someone else's child, which, if you ask me, makes a lot of sense. But where are these doubts coming from?
To be honest, I'm not here to say I'm denying my kid, but at the same time too, Miss McIntyre, yeah, kind of ratchet at the same time.
When you say kind of ratchet, are you indicating or inferring that she sleeps around?
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't believe. McIntyre, how certain are you that Mr. Wilson is Jashawn's father?
100% sure.
Jumping right in after Ms. McIntyre gave birth. She had her baby quite well and all right. But the question now was, did she tell Mr. Wilson she had a baby? She claimed she did, but Mr. Wilson slammed back at her and said she never reached out to him at all.
I wasn't warned at all. And the excuse that they gave to everybody, oh, I wasn't reachable. I was reachable because as soon as the baby was pushed out the womb, you knew how to dial my number and get in contact with me.
I had emergency.
That was my biggest thing. But what happened to the big old gap? Where's the gap at though?
And you didn't have a ride.
My thing is, it don't matter. It don't matter. You should have called me before.
Well, it was from argument to the next, with Ms. McIntyre, her mom, and Mr. Wilson wanting to rip out their throats. Mr. Wilson's name was never put on the child's birth certificate because he never made it to the hospital, but since the baby came into the world, he hasn't done a single thing.
He was notified.
But he said the baby was already here.
On my due date or nothing. My due date was October 30th. He came
So you
out
never
October
came
9th.
up there, Mr. Wilson?
Correct.
All right. Did you put his name on the birth certificate?
No.
Nope.
Did you give the baby his last name?
No.
No.
Shirley did it.
And why is that?
That's because she's not for sure.
He was ready to spill everything he believed to be true. Mr. Wilson claimed that the proof that made him feel the baby wasn't his. The fact that he kept getting texts from people he knew, saying that Ms. McIntyre had been sleeping with several other men.
I got texts that somebody that I personally knew face to face was messing around with Miss McIntyre around the same time I was messing around with Miss McIntyre.
So do you have that proof here?
Okay, then, hold on, not only
you have that proof here? No.
Not only that, though. My thing is this, not only that, I have caught Miss McIntyre in her phone a couple of times with other dudes offering favors for jobs.
Well, he did let the cat out of the box, and he sure didn't feel bad for it. He claimed after he found out Ms. McIntyre had been cheating on him, he went on what I would like to call a cheating spree. Oh, he was sleeping with everybody and anybody he could find.
Transies, right?
I was
That day when I was
super
asleep,
cheating.
when I was
You
asleep,
feel me?
huh? You come back with two transies, right?
Super sleep. I was cheating
Yeah, you
with
can't hear
everybody
that. You can't
and
hear that.
anybody. To be honest with you, I'm gonna be real with you. Because at the point, I'm like, all right,
You
this
cheat on me with
relationship
who,
ain't not
Ja'Cory?
going over.
Because super cheating,
Yeah, super. I'm gonna say super cheating.
it's elevated.
Yeah, I'm being honest with you. That was.
So
me.
you were just sleeping with anybody?
And everybody.
That's scary.
Anybody, boys, girls, whatever, transies, all that.
I'm being honest with you. That was.
So
me.
you were just sleeping with anybody?
And everybody.
After disappearing for a long-ass time, baby mama decided to come back into the picture. In her defense, she claimed that her child needed a father, and she was certain that there was only one man who could be the father of her child, and that was Mr. Wilson.
So why did you reappear?
My point.
I reappeared because I wanted my son to be with his father.
Okay, so do you hear her explanation?
I do right here.
Does that make sense?
It makes a little sense, but I'm not going for it.
But Jay Sean is now 3 years old. It's been a long time since she went ghost.
He don't even know.
Well, the suspense is finally over, and the hassle of who the dad of their child is about to be revealed. It's been a bumpy and funny ride with Mr. Wilson and Ms. McIntyre. All eyes are on the judge as she unleashes the truth. Get ready, paternity folks.
Mr. Wilson, you are his father.
Told you. Told
That's
you.
all I needed to know.
Told you ought to be ashamed.
That's all I needed to know.
You ought to be ashamed.
I needed to know that. That's my thing.
Mr. Charisma.
I needed to know that.
Hold on, we starting off wrong. You got the clarity you needed, and Miss McIntyre and Mom, you
right,
said
yeah.
you wanted your son to know his father.